तौ सन्तोषयता सन्तौ श्रीलरूपसनातनौ दाक्षिणात्येन भट्टेन पुनरेतद्विविच्यते तस्याद्यं ग्रन्थनालेकं क्रान्तव्युत्क्रान्तखण्डितम् पर्यालोच्याथ पर्यायं कृत्वा लिखति जीवकः. In yesterday's class, we were discussing Paratattvam. The main point is Jivatma is in miseries. This is the main point. Why we are studying anything we are do, what is the purpose? Any activity in this whole universe, any living entity is doing, what is the reason behind this? So the reason is dukkha nivritti, sukha prapti. It's not that just happiness. So if you try for only happiness, then who will remove the existing misery? So that's why we need both. So not only just happiness, also we want to remove the misery or the sufferings, whatever we are having. So that's why prayojanam is defined in this way. Prayojanam means any beneficial activity, means it should eradicate the sufferings and also it should give the pleasure. So that is a purpose. We are now having the AC. What is the purpose? To first remove the hardness and give the, only removing hardness is not sufficient, and also some chill, cold, so that we can happy. That is the thing we want. So here Jiva Goswami, from where he is starting? He is starting this Sandarbha with the Jiva's sufferings. Jiva's suffering. So this is already discussed in the previous Sandarbhas, in 4 Sandarbhas. In previous 4 Sandarbhas, what was the main subject matter? What was discussed? Sambandhi Tattvam. So that was the main discussion. In that discussion also, Jivatma is discussed, and its suffering is was also discussed. So why Jivatma is in sufferings? What is the reason? We discussed yesterday. What is the root cause for this? The root cause is Vimukhata, Vaimukyam. What is the definition of Vimukhata? So definition is Jivat Vaimukyam means Anadi Paratattva Gnana Sansarga Bhavamaya. So that means from beginningless, Jivatma is not having the knowledge about the Paratattvam. Because of this, what Maya will do? Maya is a servant of the Paratattvam. So that's why she will immediately will attack on this Jivatma, and it covers the Swarupa Gnanam. Swarupa Gnanam. That means Jivatma by nature it is pure. It's a pure consciousness. But now, since it is not having the knowledge about the Paratattvam, so it is captured by Maya, and Maya will cover the identity of the Jiva. and also it gives the false identity. So due to that, Jivatma thinks that Atmanam Trigunatmakam. In revision, there is no question. So yeah, then Atmanam Trigunatmakam. Jivatma is thinking itself as body. And because of this, it is entering into the dualities, being thinking itself as the body and entering into the dualities means I am fat, I am thin, I am this country person, I am that country person, this and those, so and so. These are all made up of, these feelings are all out of three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. In those, the bhavas which are made by the trigunas, in that this pure jivatma is entering and claiming itself as that atmanam trigunatmakam. So that's why it is getting the fear. Because of entering into this, it is getting the fear and so many sufferings. So now, to prove this, we have seen 11th canto, 22nd, 33rd sloka, that is actually, or 34. 34 in the BBT, it is 34, 33rd. Book you can check. 33rd or 34 in BBT book. Okay, whatever may be. So this 34, okay. This what? These jivatmas, that's why all these jivatmas from beginningless, they are without the knowledge about Paratattvam. So that's why they are captured by the Maya and influenced by the sometimes Sattvaguna, sometimes Rajoguna, and sometimes Tamoguna. So because of this, so some jivatmas who are in the Sattvaguna, they will be thinking, so they will be understanding sattva sanjayate gnanam. That's why they can understand the chit. That means at least they can differentiate the difference between the chit and jada. Of course, they don't know directly paratattvam, but at least this difference they can come to know. But who are influenced by the rajas and tamas, so rajoguna means always choose you. That means I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. They are always choose you. So that's why they are always in this mode, and who are influenced by the ignorance, and they are always in the illusion. And because of this, these jivatmas, if with this situation, in this situation, so what will happen if you gather them at one place, if you brought them to one place, then they will be always fighting. That means some people say there is beyond matter, and some people say there is nothing beyond the matter. So like this, there is a fight, but this fight will never end. And then, so who, what is the solution now? That means they are always in the influence of the Maya and suffering. So now, how, what is the solution? Then how this jivatma can come out from the suffering which is he is getting from the beginningless, from the anadikala, from anadikala it is getting. So then how to take it out, how to take that jivatma from out? Who can bring out? Maya can do? No. Other jivatma can do? No. Then who can do? Only, huh? Only Paratattvam can do. So that's why Paratattvam, what it is doing? It is doing Paramakarunikam Shastram Upadishati. So that's why it is teaching Shastra to us, to the Jivas. So this Shastra Upadesha is given for us. Then this Upadesha, no revision, no questions in revision. Okay. So next, these Jivatmas are all. So now, yes, Shastra is given to us. So based upon those Shastras, some Jivatmas are in the previous lives, they are following the previous, they are following the previous, that means in the previous day, they are following the prescribed methods given in the Shastra. And after doing this several, sufficient sadhana, they also experienced the Paratattvam, and those impressions will be there in their heart. So then those Jivatmas in this life, just by one time hearing the about the Paratattvam, immediately, so it will be regaining back the previous samskaras, and it is also immediately experiencing the Paratattvam. So that means this kind of Jivatma is already out of misery. Yes, because this is already experiencing the Paratattvam. Paratattvam is which is full of blissful. So that means it is already come to the blissful state. And there is a one more Jivatma, another category of Jivatmas who got, of course, they didn't do the sufficient sadhana or the sufficient samskaras, they didn't gain in the previous lives. But in this life, just by some kind of mercy from the exalted souls, so then what will happen? Because of their mercy, these Jivatmas also just by one time of preaching or one time of teaching of Shastra, immediately they will also experience the absolute truth. That is the Paratattvam. And since they are experiencing the Paratattvam, so they are always in the blissful state. So there is no dukkha for them also. So that is the second category of the jivas. So after this, we are going to discuss a third category of jivatmas. Who are those? So I'm going to share the screen. Ocha, 1 second. Projector is of no power, but online they can. Everyday power is off. Prabhu, if we run projector on the 20 minute, अच्छा. Can you make me host? So please see here in the, yeah, you people also can see there if you want. Already you have files, but if you want, you can see. Yeah. No, TV band kariye. Okay. Because we don't have power, so TV is also not supported. Okay, now you see here. But in the case of first category and second category of Jivatmas, even if they sometimes come across the hearing about the Paratattvam, so by that what will happen? By that hearing will boost their experience of absolute truth. There, that means in many varieties, in a different way they will experience. As much as they hear, that will boost their experience. So but that is not mandatory for them. So because they are already out of main problem, that is they are out of misery. So 39, line number 39 in our file, line number 39, you can come to there. अथ अन्येषां तच्छ्रवणमात्रेण तादृशत्वं बीजायमानम् अपि कामादिवैगुण्येन बीजम् अपि दोषेण प्रतिहतं तिष्ठति नैतन्मनस्तव कथासु विकुण्ठनाथा सम्प्रियेत दुरितदुष्टमसाधु तीव्रम् कामातुरं हर्षशोकभयैषणार्थं तस्मिन् कथं तव गतिं विमृशामि दीनः इति दीनं मन्यः श्रीमत्प्रह्लादवचनानुसारेण अन्येषाम् एव तत्प्राप्तेः एवमेव उक्तं ब्रह्म वैवर्ते यावत् पापैस्तु मलिनं हृदयं तावदेव हि न शास्त्रे सत्यबुद्धिः स्यात् सद्बुद्धिः सद्गुरौ तथा अनेकजन्मजनित पुण्य राशिफलं महत् सत्सङ्गशास्त्रश्रवणादेव प्रमेयात्. It's not understood actually. Okay. So these things we are going to see in English now. That is a so come to the English part in this. English part for this is okay, line number sir. Hmm. So some another category of jivas are those anyesham shravana matrani. If they hear about the paratatvam, there will be a bija. That means sanmukata. That means there is some seed is given for them by one time if they hear initially if they when they hear about the paratatvam, so tadrishatvam bijayamanamapi. So when they hear, they will be turning towards the paratatvam, but that bija is defeated by their lust, greed, and so on. So they will exceed this teaching actually. They heard, and that will not immediately connect them to the supreme truth, and immediately they cannot experience the absolute truth, that is Paratattvam. But in the case of the first category, what happened? They just by one time hearing, Sadyo Hrudyavarudyate Krutibhihi Shushushubihi Tat Kshanat. So in the first category, since in the last life they already gathered the sufficient experience of the Paratattvam, so that's why when they hear in this life one time about the Paratattvam, immediately that connected them to the Paratattvam and also they experienced. But in the case of this third category, since they are having the lust and so and so in their heart, so that's why, so this hearing will not give any substantial effect on them. That means that will not make them to connect, and that will not make them to regain the knowledge. What is the main problem of the jiva? Not having the knowledge about the Paratattvam. So this hearing will not immediately give the sufficiently the knowledge about the Paratattvam, and also no experience. No experience. So that's why. So that is only said here. Who is saying? Prahlad Maharaj is saying. Na yetat manastava tava kathasu vaikuntanada sampriyate durita dushtam asadu tivram. That translation is like this. O Lord of Vaikunta. See English translation. Page number 4, na? Okay. How to remove this? Okay. Oh, Lord of Vaikunta, this mind contaminated with sin, weak and uncontrollable, is not pleased with topics about you. Huh? The heart is contaminated, so much contaminated. It is having this so much anarthas and so many sinful things. And that's why this heart is not going to respond or is not pleased with the topics about you. It is afflicted by lust and disturbed by joy, sorrow, fear, and desire for wealth. How can this rich think of the truth about you in his mind? So, who is saying this? 7th canto, 9th chapter 39, Prahlad Maharaj is saying. He is portraying the general Jivatma. He is actually not in this condition, actually. So, this is the thing. We'll take the questions after some time. Maybe I will give the sufficient time. So, after substantial discussion is gone, then we can discuss. So, next, in the same way it is described in Brahma Vaivarta Purana also. Yavat papaistu malinam hrudayam tavadevahi na shastre satya buddhi syat. That means as long as the heart is contaminated with the sins, there will not be right intelligence in scriptures and in bona fide guru. So if one whose heart is that means is fully filled with these sinful things and anarthas, so then what will happen? He will never get faith on the scriptures and also he will never get faith on bona fide guru. So the result of accumulated punya produced over many births is great. That means is great. However, so next, aneka janma janita punya rasi phalam mahat satsanga shastra shravana deva premadi jayate. The result of accumulated punya produced over many births is great. However, prema arises from hearing the scriptures in association of devotees. So, but when there is a association of the devotees and when they hear in the association the scriptures, and so that they can gain the sukruti, and then they will gain the faith in the scriptures and also faith in the shastra, faith in the guru, and then they will do the sadhana and they will get back their connection with the paratattvam. That means they will gain the knowledge about the paratattvam and also the experience. So these two are the pramanas, that these two slokas, 7th canto, 9th chapter 39, this sloka and also this Brahma Vaivarta Purana sloka, these two are telling that there is a third category of jivas whose heart is filled with the so much anarthas. Okay, this is clear. Okay, now till now here, yeah, is one topic is over. That means 3 categories of jivas we discussed. So okay, questions for 3 minutes. Okay, yes, Ashay Gorangpu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
My question is that regarding these 3 category,
Yes.
2 category I am understanding. One is Mahad Kripa,
Yeah.
but this 2 categories I'm not understanding, because see, if somebody did past life, he did good bhakti, that's why this life is immediately becoming Sanmukha.
Yeah.
And those who are starting from this life, they are not becoming Sanmukha. So, but these people who are getting Sanmukha this life, they in the previous life, they were also like this category. And these people who are not able to become Sanmukha now, next life they will become also. So it's, if we take the millions of lifetime we are taking birth, so where is difference between this? Why? What is the reason of quoting this difference? What is why Jiva Goswami, or why this They are discriminating between these two, because someone got mercy in last birth, someone is getting mercy in this birth. Next life he will become also senior. Now they are junior. So what is the difference? I don't know.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay. So here Jiva Goswami what?
Difference I'm understanding, but why this point is coming is
Yeah.
mentioning here in
Yeah.
this book. Is a reason of mentioning this point.
Yeah. So here, so main point is, yeah, definitely. So previously they are like that only. That means whoever now in this life, one time of the hearing Shastra, immediately they are experiencing. Prabhu, your sound is coming. Ashikaram Prabhu from, yeah. So by one time hearing, so they are getting, they are experiencing the Paratattvam means, yeah. Why we are taking these categories? Because for whom teaching of Shastra is necessary, that we want to check actually. We have millions of jivas in front of us. So now we are classifying them broadly. So because in this book, what we are going to deal? We are going to deal about the process should be taken by jivas to come out from misery. The main problem is what? Is the misery. To come out from the misery, so there is some process we are going to recommend. So whom we are going to recommend? Whoever is a patient, for him only, na? So now in your house there are 5 members are there. So you are going to get the medicine for the some disease. So first what you will do? You will examine the people who are having the disease, and then to them only will give, na. So that's why this abhideya is nothing but the standard process should be accepted by the jiva to regain its knowledge about the, so to gain the knowledge about the paratattvam and to experience it. So this is the purpose of the abhideya. That means practicing the process. So for that, who are this process is meant for whom? That we are trying to understand. So this process already, this abhideya process is started from the beginningless many years ago, many millions of the years ago. So that means in the millions of years ago, so but in this context now, so this process is necessary for whom? They already practicing from the many millions of lives, and they became perfect, and now for them there is no need to hear back, because just by one time hearing they can experience. So that category we will take out. And there is one more category who already got the some special mercy. So we'll also take out that category. And whoever is remaining, whose heart is affected by the lust and so on, so anarthas. So just by one time hearing, they are not able to experience. So now we are taking that category. That category is the operation we should do on them. So this abhideya process is meant for them. Otherwise, if this process, now we are going to write a book and we are going to study the standard process recommended for the jivas to come out from the misery, so that we are going to study, and if there is no need for anyone, then are we going to discuss this? Is there any need of discussing bhakti sandrabha here? No need. So that means for whom this bhakti sandrabha is needed? Yeah, so for in whose case by one time hearing is not sufficient to reconnect. So then what should they do? What kind of methodology they should accept to regain their knowledge about Paratattvam? What are the various processes are available? Gnana Marga, Yoga Marga, Bhakti Marga, they are so and so. So what are the various margas which can, or various methods or prescribed processes, various are available to connect this miserable Jivatma to with the Paratattvam? So out of these, which is best? We are going to investigate in this book, and we are going to understand and what is the the internal details, inner details of this process. So before that, we are understanding for whom it is necessary. Okay. Okay, next. 3 minutes are over, so we'll go to the next discussion. Yeah, I will take next later. I will take definitely, but okay. Tataha, so line number 55, Sanskrit, line number 55 I'm reading. ततः मुख्येन तात्पर्येण परतत्वे पर्यवसितेऽपि तेषां उपदेशस्य किम् अभिधेयं प्रयोजनं च इत्यपेक्षायां तद् अवान्तरतात्पर्येण तद्वयम् उपदेष्टव्यम्. And next line also will read tatra tatrabhidheyam tad vaimukyam virodhivat tat samukyam eva tacha tad upasana lakshanam yata eva tasnam avirbhavati prayojanam cha tad anubhavah sacha antah bahi sakshatkara lakshanah yata eva swayam krishna dukha nivrittir bhavati. Okay, this translation, come to the translation. So translation is here, though favorability to the Lord in that. So you see, though the main conclusion, you are coming, everyone is able to come. Try to see the text also while I explain so that you can, it can help actually. No, though the main conclusion of scriptures is Paratattva, what is Abhideya and Prayojana of their teachings on Paratattva and so on? To answer this, these two should be respectively taught as conclusions. What is saying here? What he is saying? So, to deliver this Jivatma from the sufferings, that Paratattvam, what he is doing? He is teaching the Shastras. Okay? What is the conclusion of all these Shastras? That is the Paratattvam. That is the conclusion of the all the Shastras. Okay? So this much is sufficient. So for the Jivatma, if you say Paratattvam is the ultimate, this much if you give, is it sufficient for that Jivatma to come out from the misery? That is not sufficient. Then what is needed? For that Jivatma, you also have to say what kind of process is recommending that Shastra. That also, yeah, we should see. We should see. Yes or no? So simply saying Paratattvam is the final goal. This is not sufficient. So that is ultimate result actually. Ultimate result of teachings of all the scriptures is what? So Paratattvam. That is ultimate result. So that's why tata mukhya tatparyena paratatve paryavasatepi tesham paratattvadyupadeshasya kim abhidheyam prayojanam cha ityapekshayam tad avantara tatparyena tadvayam upadeshtavyam. So that teaching, Shastra is teaching, and by the teachings, what process is recommended for that jiva? That also should be known, kim abhidheyam, and also after following that process, what result is going to come? This also is necessary. This also should be known by the jivatma. Then that's why there is a necessity of teaching of what is abhideya and what is prayojana. If you don't teach these two to the jivatma, and if you say only paratattva is the absolute goal, final goal, so is it complete help to that? It's not complete help. So after knowing the paratattva, after understanding paratattva is absolute truth, then you should know also the way to reach it. And also how that pleasure will be, that also should be known. What is the shape of that enjoyment you get after reaching that? How to reach, and after reaching, how that pleasure looks. That also should be known by the, that also should be taught to the Jivatma. Otherwise, Jivatma will not be getting full benefit. Yes, this process should be taught to the Jivatma. Tatra abhidheyam tad vaimukya viroditva tat samukyameva. So now, what is abhidheya? In that means, what is that process? If you want to define in a generic way, you can say, what can be that? What can be that? That is so simple. What is the problem with the Jivatma? What is the root cause for the Jivatma to be in the suffering? Huh? What is that? Vaimukyam. Vaimukyam is the root cause. Vimukata is the root cause. And so now, what can be the abhidheyam? The one which counteracts to this. That means sanmukata. Sanmukata is the process which, this is the process, sanmukata. That means Jivatma turn away from the Supreme Lord. That's why it is getting the material miseries. Now, what process we recommend for this Jivatma? We recommend such a process which turns this Jivatma towards the Paratattvam. So that's why the Sanmukata is the process. Turning towards the Supreme Truth, Paratattvam, is the process, is the recommended process. So then how many types that we are going to discuss? That can be the Gnanam, that can be the Yoga, that can be the Bhakti. These are all various processes. Gnana process, Yoga process, Bhakti process. All they are turning this Jivatma, which is Vimukha towards the Vimukha from the Lord. So they all turning towards into the Paratattvam. Why we are saying always Paratattvam? Because Paratattvam can be the Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So that's why we are, in general way, we are dealing the absolute truth now. So because we didn't come to the conclusion that bhakti only is the process, till now we didn't establish. So that's why we are not going to speak in terms of specific terms of bhakti and other things. Okay. So that you have to establish. Without establishing, you cannot speak. So first of all, we are coming from the general definition. That means basic state. First of all, we are all in misery. From there we started actually our discussion. That's why. And from here to step by step, we'll to reach the final thing. So next, Sanmukata is the abhidheya, which is counteracting on the root problem. Next, that is nothing but tacha tadu upasana lakshanam yatayeva tas gnanam avirbhavati. So then that Sanmukata is nothing but what then? Just worshipping that Paratattvam, which will bring the knowledge about that Paratattvam. So this is the Abhidheya. Abhidheya means what? The Sanmukata means what? The worshipping of Paratattvam, so that the worshipper can gain the knowledge of Paratattvam. Ultimately what? Maya will act on whom? Maya will act on those who are not having the knowledge about the Paratattvam. So whoever is gaining the knowledge about the Paratattvam, so she will immediately leave them. Then they are out of misery. Okay. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, knowledge can be many. Actually, that's why here you take general way. So knowledge can be, so by doing the Bhakti Yoga Namasi, sorry. So Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayatyashu Vairagyam Gnanam Chada Haitukam. There is also Gnanam. What is that Gnanam? That Gnanam is a Bhagavad Gnanam. And Jnanis, they also practice and they read the Upanishads, they also get the Gnanam. What is that Gnanam? That Gnanam is Brahma Gnanam. Okay. So after doing the bhakti, you are getting Gnanam or not? After doing the worshipping of the Lord, we are getting Gnanam or not? So Gnana means you should not give a patent right for the only Gnana Marga. No. It is not a patent right to the Gnanis. No. Gnanam is there in the devotion also. You are knowing the Lord. You did bhakti and you are so understanding that the form of the Lord, the glories of the Lord. This is what? This is not Gnanam. This is also Gnanam, but this is Bhagavad Gnanam, which is nothing but the bhakti, which is coming from the bhakti. Okay, that's it. Don't get confused. I already said this. Paratattva Gnanam. So they will be getting the, by worshipping the Paratattvam, then what they will get? They will get the knowledge about that. And their problem, their root problem is finished. Okay. So, so after getting, that means they now Sanmukta, they achieved. So that means they are not affected by the Maya. That means Dukkha Nivrutti is happening. Is it sufficient? If we come out from the Maya, is it sufficient for us? No, we also want Sukha Prapti. So that's why after getting the Paratattva, so what kind of pleasure you are going to get? So that you are going to, you should be taught. This Jivatma who is now having aversion towards the Lord, so that Jivatma also should be taught with the Prayojana Tattvam. What kind of pleasure you are going to get? So what kind of process you should follow, and after that what kind of result you are going to get. Those two things also should be taught to the Jivatma. So that Jivatma will be getting full benefit. Not that just establishing Paratattvam as the highest is not sufficient. Okay. So then what will happen once, that means one, what is the Prayojana then? Then the Prayojana is experiencing of the Paratattvam. So Prayojanam cha tad anubhavaha. In four sandarbhas, we clearly understood Paratattvam is the highest, is a supreme bliss, is a supreme bliss. And also we understood, so what kind of bliss is there in the Brahman, what kind of bliss is there with the Paramatma, and what kind of bliss is there in so Bhagavan. So in this, of course, these three different realizations, the comparison also we saw so very clearly. So in many places. So now that's why that is not our main discussion. So that's accepted universal truth. We also read from the Srila Prabhupada books many times. So that's why, okay, it's taken as known thing. Now next, so after, so Prayojanam is what then? Then Prayojanam is experiencing that. If Paratattva is completely full of miseries, are you going to worship? Can it be Paratattvam? No. Paratattva means definitely it should be beyond our existing, beyond the objects what you have in your surroundings, which are always giving the mixed, that means pain and pleasure. So that's why Paratattvam is a pure bliss, and you don't want even a little pain you want to get from that. So that's why that kind of object we want. Every intelligent person always look for what? The highest, the supreme bliss. That is the indulgence. So that's why we are going to experience that. That is the prayojana actually. And how? Such a antar bahir sakshatkara lakshana, that should be experienced by the external senses and also by the internal senses. By this, what will happen? So by this total, so since we regained our knowledge about the Paratattvam, so that's why we are free from the Maya. So since Maya is not attacking on you, there is no thinking Swarupa Gnana will not be covered. Swarupa Gnana will be immediately is revealed, and also you will be identifying yourself as original, what you are, and you are not in the dualities, and that's why there is no pain. Maya, you are free from Maya, and also you are experiencing the Paratattva, so there is bliss. Let me. So yatah swayam krustam dukkha nivritti, automatically dukkha is also finished. Since when you experience the supreme truth automatically, ignorance, that's darkness will not be there. In the sun, is there any darkness? No. So if you experience the object which is full of bliss, then there is no dukkha. So yes, questions for the 2 minutes. Param Karuna Prabhu, I will take later and yes.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Wonderful. Prabhu, so you told that we should also inform the readers about Prayojana Tat Anubhava. They should know about the Prayojana Tattva. Only Sambandhan Abhidha is not sufficient. But I'm just thinking from my limited mind, doesn't make it feel as selfish to inform that, hey, this is Prayojan, supreme bliss. That's why you should do it.
Yes.
But if you say, hey, Gopis and Vrindavan are suffering a lot, but and so how can you understand this? That why we should inform we don't have, because we have been taught in bhakti process that no matter what Krishna is, whoever is, we should not think of.
Next line is that. Next line is that. Yes. Next question. I'm going to answer that, Prabhu. Okay, next. Yes. Yes. Nam Sankirtan, Prabhu. He asked. Okay. Okay. You can.
You mentioned before that also mentioned Sarup Gyan.
Yes.
Maya Devi covers the Sarup Gyan.
Yeah.
So can you please explain what is Sarup Gyan?
We'll come to that. That is a long discussion. It will be very later discussion. Okay. Next. On this topic, in this topic, is there any question?
It's more or less for the previous topic when we discussed the three groups and we started speaking about abhidaya, the process. So why we don't include the Paratattva means Brahman, Bhagavan, and Paramatma. So why don't we include those who accept Paratattva as Brahman and Paramatma, because they can also get benefit from this abhidaya of bhakti.
Yeah, till now we are not differentiating them. We are including them and we are saying that's why commonly.
Okay, maybe it'll be clear.
Yeah. Okay, Gokulan Prabhu.
Just if you want to confirm I'm trying to relate to Bhagavad Gita, these categories of jivas, the first category and the third category. Is when Krishna said Yeshantu Antagatam Papam, that verse, that's referring to the first category, because there are, and the Icha Dvesha Samutena Dvanda Mohena Bharata, that will refer to the third category of jivas who are always bewildered by it.
Okay. Right. So, okay. Yeshantu Antagatam Papa. So, there actually, if you see Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary, so he is saying that just coming out from this sin is not sufficient. There is a need of association of the devotees. Those only can take up this process of bhakti. It's not that the people who are coming out from the sinful activities, so they can take up the bhakti process. We cannot say that. So that's why their acharya already he is considering. So their association of devotees means you cannot say that the category we are discussing in the first. No, because first category means they are also out of the sin and they also experienced. They did sufficient process, bhakti process. They whatever that means the abhidheya process they followed and they experienced. And just now, so in this life, one time if they hear, then they will immediately connect back and also experience. That is the point actually. That sloka is another actually is not meaning.
And what does it mean then the Drida Brata? When Krishna is saying that they worship me with determination, these people, when he said, Tedwanda Moha Nirmukta Bhajante Man Drida Brataha. Because the Acharya, as you say, they add that by actions pleasing to the great souls, that's the punya karma. Action pleasing to the devotees.
So, that sloka, Prabhu, so that sloka meaning is like this. So who are come out from the sins, and also they should get the association of devotees. Clearly, it is mentioned there in that. So that's why that sloka is not referred to this. Okay, this not to the this any category is not said here. That means what? So that's the one. So one way here he is saying there Krishna. So these pious people, so the can understand this process of the bhakti. So there is a possibility, but association is needed. It's not that they simply pious activities. So in that way, that is defining that context is what I remember. Okay. So next, so यतः एव स्वयं कृष्ण दुःख निवृत्तिर्भवति. Next line, see the Sanskrit. Line number 62. दुःख निवृत्तिर्भवति is 62. Line number 62. तद एतत् उभयं यद्यपि पूर्वत्र सिद्धोपदेश एव अभिप्रेतम् अस्ति यथा तव गृहे निधिर् अस्ति इति श्रुत्वा कश्चित् दरिद्रः तदर्थं प्रयतते लभते च तम् इति तद्वत् तथापि तच्छैथिल्य निरसाय पुनः तद् उपदेशः. So English translation for this. Although these two topics were intended in the previous 4 sandarbhas in the form of Siddha Upadesha, this is like on hearing there is treasure in your house, any poor man immediately attempts to find it and again and gain it. Still, in order to prevent negligence in the attainment, the teachings are again given. I think you people understood. So Parama Karuna Prabhu is asking that question, what is the need of telling about the prayojana? So what is the need he is asking? So here it is said, in 4 sandarbhas, first 4 sandarbhas, what is discussed? Sambandhi tattvam is discussed. That means paratattvam is discussed. That means paratattvam is discussed in the form of Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. So, and also which is superior, that is also discussed. So now, after, and also the characteristics of Paratattvam is discussed. That means it is Satyam Gnanam Anantam Brahma. It is Anantam, it is unlimited, it is completely blissful, and also every time the pleasure is increasing, and it is completely pure. So and so and so and so characteristics you heard in the 4 sandarbhas. After hearing this much, so one who is not having the bliss with him, then what he will do? Example, so if you are a poor person, someone is a poor person and he is not having the money with him, so someone told to him, in your house there is big wealth, inside the ground there is a lot of 100 kgs of gold is there. So such a sentence he heard, then immediately, is there any need to instruct him to take some what is that what is that shower, so and other instruments, and to dig it and take it and follow this process, is it necessary? Immediately after hearing this, he is a poor and he heard that there is a money, immediately he himself dig it and get it. There is no need to say to him, you dig it and you get it. So is there any need of teaching of this? No need. So similarly, after studying the 4 sandarbhas which are describing absolute truth as pure bliss, so then what you will do after hearing this? Immediately you try to get that. But then what is there any need of the abhideya? That means teaching of abhideya and teaching of the prayojana tattva? Is there any need? Teaching of abhideya, that means teaching the process, how to get that, and teaching the process of the prayojana, is it necessary? No need. Immediately it is there, and you are poor because you are in the misery, and you are understanding that paratattva is full of bliss. Immediately you will try for that. Like how in the home case, this is a poor man's case. So, but still it is needed. It is needed. Just so it is needed for what is the purpose of that? Means it is needed to explain and to teach the process to get that, and also after getting what kind of bliss you will get, that is also needed. The need is that to what is the, why it is needed? Tat saithilya nirasaya. That means to remove the, to prevent the negligence in attainment. That means jivas are so conditioned, and after hearing about the glories of the paratattva, they don't immediately try for that. There is a need to teach them, you do this process, you do like this, you do like this. And also you are going to get this happiness, you are going to get this happiness, you are going to get again and again and is need to teach, because there is sitilata, that means there is a negligence is there. That's why. Otherwise, abhideya and prayojana process are not really necessary actually. This that means prayojana, paramatatvam, paratattvam is already explained in the 4 sandrabhas. That siddha upadesha. What is the meaning of siddha upadesha? Siddha upadesha means it is inbuilt teaching is also there. You are poor and you are completely in miseries, and you are hearing something is fully bliss. That means what? You have to try for that. That instruction is there in that, automatically in that. That's why 4 sandarbhas are siddha upadesha. Siddha upadesha means, siddha means, so it is already, so teaching, that means instruction is there already. You should get this, you should try for this, and you should get it. It is also included in this. But still we are also, that is not sufficient. We are separately also teaching about the process to get, and also the benefit of getting that, to remove, to prevent the negligence of the jivatma. Just by hearing paratattva, they may not immediately take up this. They are neglect it. That's why. In this way. Okay. 2 minutes questions. Amasya Prabhu.
Prabhuji, sthilita can be translated as inertia.
Prabhu, sorry.
Inertia, like he doesn't, with this condition, inertia, he doesn't want it to move.
Yeah. Inertia of rest, inertia of the motion. Yeah. So jivas are always in the inertia of getting the miseries.
But
It is so habituated, and it will never recognize that I am in misery. It is the inertia of the sorrow.
What is the inertia of emotion?
Inertia of the motion is Newton's law. You can read.
The motion. Okay.
Newton's second law. Yeah. Inertia of motion. If you ask, then Sri Chand will explain.
No, Prabhuji, I heard emotions. Got confused.
We have inertia of sorrow. So we are continued to be in sorrow. So to remove that, we need to have the teachings That means you should follow this process. You should follow this process. That kind of teaching is necessary. That's why you should study the bhakti sandarbha. Yeah. Okay, next. Yeah, Akshay Hari Prabhu.
Oh, thank you, Bo. Oh, very nice example you gave, that the person who is very poor and you tell him that he has a lot of money in his house. So he will be, there's no need to teach.
You should dig it and you should get it.
Yeah. But even just by hearing, there will not be any negligence. But person who knows there's a lot of money, he will not be negligent.
Yeah, he's not negligent. But that's why in the case of these, in the example, there is no inertia. There is no any negligence. But in the case of Paratattva, there is a negligence.
In our life also we see.
There is so much negligence. After hearing the beautiful characteristics of the Paratattva, nobody is inspired by just those characteristics. But also it is necessary and to follow it. Following, that means you should come for Mangalarti every day. Yes, otherwise we are going to give punishment. And that is also necessary.
Yeah, actually examples have some limitation there.
Yeah. Just example is what is telling about the Siddha Upadesha actually. That means just by hearing that in my house there is wealth. So in the ground of my house there is wealth. Hearing this much, there is inbuilt instruction is there. Dig it and get it. So there is no need to tell these two instructions separately for him. Yeah, that is another point actually. So what is the proper hearing? That is another point. Okay, we'll go to the next. Ramcharan Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
So we are mentioning. So my understanding is like when we are here, when we discuss these four sandarbhas, after hearing that, we came to know that
Yes.
Paratattva is the supreme, and then that we have to achieve, and then we are discussing about abhidheya and prayojana. So isn't it the hearing process that we are basically going through to understand the Paratattva? That's also part of abhidheya in one sense, isn't it?
Of course, but here we are taking four sandarbhas as the one which is telling about the characteristics or the features of the Paratattva only. So don't mix up, Prabhu. So what you have to understand that now after establishing abhidheya is the bhakti, that is shravanam, then you will get this doubt actually. But now time being what, first four sandarbhas are telling about the sambandhitattvam. So you are getting the features about that. So then what we'll do by just hearing this, immediately you'll try for your own motivation, you will try for the get that Paratattva. That is the main point you should understand, whether hearing this abhidheya or not. So that is the main problem, is you are mixing the already existing concepts. But here the thing is what is discussed here, that is Siddha Upadesha. That means hearing about the Paratattvam itself is a Siddha Upadesha. That means Upadesha, that means instruction is there inside already. That's the main point actually.
Okay, bro. Okay, thank you.
So next. 66 line. Tad evam tan pratyanaadi siddha tasgnana sansarga bhavamaya tadvai mukhyadikam dukkha hetum vadan vyadi nidhana vaiparithyamaya chikitsa nibham tat sammukyam upadishati bhayam ditiya biniveshitasya ishadapetasya vipadyayo. Sorry. Tanmayato buddha avajetam bhaktyai kesham guru devatatma. So now, so that's why tad evam tan prati Shastra, that's why what it will do. So Shastra is going to, it is not just Shastra is not going to describe the Paratattvam, describe the Sambandhitattvam. No, this much only it will not do. It will also, it will teach the process. It will also teach the process to get that, and also after getting what kind of result, what kind of benefit you are going to get, that also it will teach to you. Yes or no? Understand? Okay. Shastra is not going to teach only just about the Paratattvam, but also it is going to teach the process you have to adapt so to get that. And also, of course, the objective is full of bliss, and teaching about that is not sufficient. And also it is going to teach you, so yeah, how to get that, and also what is the result. Why? What is the reason? To prevent the negligence of the jiva. Negligence of the jivatma. Just by hearing the characteristics, it will not immediately try for that. Okay, that's why Shastra is going to teach you what is the cause for your miseries, and that's why, so to counteract this root cause, to remove this root cause, which is cause for the miseries, so this is the process you should take, and then you are going to get this result. That's kind of complete, so description it gives for you. Understand? So that's why it is saying Bhayam Ditiya Viniveshitasya. So translation is in that way explaining the jiva's cause of suffering as aversion to the Paratattva due to being without awareness of Paratattva from beginningless time. Anadi Siddhatas Gnana Sansarga Bhava. The scriptures teach Samukyam to Paratattva, which resembles the cure meant to destroy to the cause of illness. This is the translation. Okay. So that's why Shastra, what it will take, it will do, it will tell about the root cause. What is the root cause? What is the root cause? Vaimukyam. In this sloka, what is that? The sloka translation you see. For the jiva which is averse to the Lord, his Swarupa Gnana is covered by the Maya, and he will identify himself with the body and becomes absorbed in the dualities, and by that becomes fearful. Therefore, the intelligent person taking Guru as his Lord and dearest to the self should fully worship the Lord with pure bhakti. So, this is the thing. That means Shastra, Bhayam Ditya Viniveshita is coming from where? It is coming from the Shastra only or not? So from the Srimad Bhagavatam. So what it is teaching us? Example it is given here. One example. Shastra is here, first of all, telling the root cause for the suffering of the Jivatma. What is the root cause? In this Sanskrit, you can see. First is what? First, from where you should start? Ishadapetasya. That means jiva which is averse towards the Lord. That is the first. You should start from there. Ishadapetasya. The one who is having aversion towards the Lord. So then what will happen? Tan mayaya. By that maya, what will happen? Asmrutihi. Steps you should write. Explain the process. Write the question. Who is writing? Where is that question? Chaitanya Jivan. Write the question. Explain the process of Jivatma to get the miseries and solution for that. Okay, that is given here. First is that what? Isha Dapetas, it is aversion towards the Lord. So that's why Asmrutihi, Tan Maya, by that Maya, Asmrutihi means it is forgetting his own identity. Viparyayaha means it is getting the opposite knowledge. That means I am body. Then after that, Dvitiya Niveshataha. That means it is entering into the dualities. So then what will have? Bhayam Syat. That's why it is getting the fear. So that's why what he should do? Then what is the solution? So Buddha, that means that's why intelligent people, Shastra is telling to you, Buddha, if you are intelligent, abhajetam, you should worship him. You should worship that Supreme Lord, that Supreme Tattva, Paratattva. Bhaktyai by the bhakti. So for whom Guru is the Lord. So okay. So Buddha, Gurudevatatma, that means he should treat Guru as his Lord. And what he should do? He should worship that Paratattvam. Tam means Paratat, Ishaha. This is so that means in this way, Shastra is going to explain. It is not simply saying that absolute truth is full of opulent qualities. No. It is also saying, hey, you should worship him. Why? To remove your negligence. Okay, Tika, the same thing will be there. Just quickly, we have 9 minutes. So in Sanskrit, line number 75. Please see the line number 75. Tika cha. Yato bhayam tanmaya bhavet ato buddha buddhiman tam eva abhajet. So I explained, whenever Tika, that means writes any acharya, he will be having the 5 kinds of things he will be doing, 5 characteristics. What are those? First one is Padacheda. Second one is Padacheda means first dividing the words, Sandhis. Next is second one is Padardoktihi. So, see, is right? Second one is Padartoktihi. That means glossing, giving the meanings of those words. And third one is Vigraha Vakya, expanding the samasas into the big sentences. And fourth one is Vakya Yojana. That means properly constructing these words, meanings of these words, so that you'll be getting the complete meaning. Okay. Then fifth one is Akshepa Samadhanam. So Purva Pakshi can ask the questions, and those questions. So now we are going to see the Tika on this sloka. You see, Yataha bhayam tan maya bhavet. So bhayam tan maya bhavet. Ataha Buddha. So in the sloka, Buddha is there. And what is the gloss for this? Buddhiman. Everyone see, no, don't see on my face actually. You see in your notes. Puneet Prabhu, you are seeing. So, Buddha is immediately you are seeing the Buddhiman. What we should understand? Buddha is glossed as Buddhiman. That is the meaning. Tam eva abhajet. Anvaya also. That means, so the Vakya Prayoja. That means Vakya Prayoga. That means the Vakya is also construction. Sentence also is constructed here. And here now there is Akshepa. That means Purva Pakshi can put questions. So that's why Nanu. Nanu is coming means fifth activity is being done. That is Akshepa Nirasanam. So here, if it is becoming too technical, so don't worry. We are not going to do like this for every sloka, but just first time it is coming, so I am explaining. Maybe some people may catch it and use it. So that's why. To explain this sloka, there is a possibility. There is a Purva Pakshi is there. What Purva Pakshi is saying? Nanu means Purva Pakshi's words, those are all. Whatever after Nanu is coming, that is the opponent's words. So he is saying, Nanu, bhayam ditiya biniveshitah bhavati, sacha dehadyahankarataha, sacha swarupa aspuranat, kim atra tasya maya karoti. So here Purupakshi is saying, first, fear. Actually, main thing is all fear. Fear comes because of entering into the dualities. One will enter into the dualities due to false ego. That means identifying himself as the body. And that is because one forgets about his swarupa. One forgets about his own identity. So that's why he's identifying him as falsely. And that's why he's entering into the dualities. And that's why he's getting the fear. Then what is the need of this Maya, of his Maya? What is the role of Maya here? What is the role? So then answer is said, Ataha aha. That's why answer. This is till here. Maya karoti. Till here, Purupakshis words. Then Ataha aha. This is the Siddhanti is saying. Answer is given for this. So what is the role of his Maya here? Then answer is Ishadapetasya iti. That means Isha Vimukhasya. Ishadapetasya is glassed as a how? Ishad means, so next immediately whatever is coming, Isha Vimukhasya. Apetasya means Vimukhasya. So that is the Apetasya. Glass is what? Meaning is glass. GLOSS, glass. Not GLASS. Okay. Gloss. Whatever. Okay. So Tan Mayaya Asmriti. That means now Purupakshi is saying that what is the role of his Maya? Now we are saying yes, his role of his Maya, role of his Maya is there. What is that? So that Maya is just finding who are against to his master. Ishad Apetasya means who are against to his master. So immediately she is going to see and she is catching them. That is her role. That is the role of her. That is the role of her. Then what will you do? Then Asmriti, she is making to forget Jivatma, to forget his identity. Then Tataha Viparyeha, that means Dehosmi iti, he thinks. Then Tadaha Dvitiya Abhiniveshta. Then after that he enters into dualities, then he'll get the fear. Next after that what? Evam hi prasiddham laukikeshu api mayasu. Even in general world also is like this. So generally laukikeshu mayasu means so yeah. So ordinary illusions. This is well known in ordinary illusions. So even if you have some illusion, so you are seeing the rope in the snake in the rope, in the simple, in there also, because of that illusion also you'll get the fear. That is simple explain, nothing is there. So okay, next after this, evam hi prasiddham laukikeshu api mayasu uktam cha bhagavata daivi hesha Gudamayi mama maya duratchaya mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. So Lord is also saying, so same thing. What here in the 11.2 so 37 is said, the same thing Bhagavad Gita also in Krishna is saying, Daivi Hesha Gudamayi mama maya. Hey Arjun, this maya is so powerful. It's my maya. And so it is difficult to cross this maya. Mameva ye prapadyanti, whoever is surrendering to me, they will be, so then she will leave them. So they will cross this maya, not everyone. So that is the point he said. Then in the sloka, in the Bhagavatam sloka, if you see in the Sanskrit, so there, what is there? Last, Bhaktyaikesham Gurudevatatma. So this is explained here last, finally. So what is that? Ekaya avyabhicharinya bhaktya abhajet. So one should worship. That's why too, if he wants to come out from the fear, what he has to do? He should worship him. It's not that he's just going to Maya and if you pray her, will it leave? Will she leave? she will not leave. If you pray her, then she will not leave you. So you have to surrender his master only. So because why she caught you? Because you are not surrendering to his master, her master. So that's why she is catching you. Then what you have to do? You have to go and surrender to her master. Then only she will leave. So how to do? How to surrender? Bhaktya abhajet. You should worship him, but with what process? Bhakti process. Anyway, this is not so important here, but here the thing what you should understand from this example, Shastra is not just describing the glories of the Paratattva, but also it is recommending you, it is teaching you the Abhideya. That means you should worship. It is saying you should worship. That is also it is teaching. So Guru Devata Atma means Guru Eva Devata Ishvaraha Atma Preshta. That means for whom Guru is like the Lord, is the dearmost. So that way, in that mood, you should worship Supreme Lord. Okay, thank you very much. Huh? More else in the English it is there. Okay, any questions? Okay, very nice. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki. Today audio quality is okay. If you have any problem in audio, so immediately you should inform our Atul Gopal Prabhu. If you act on that. After, yeah, yes. Thank you.